All right. Hello. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone this morning? All right. I think we can do a little bit better than that on a beautiful Sunday morning. Kingston, how are we this morning? Yeah. There it is. That's the energy we're all so familiar with, especially when we're here to join and enjoy with Ted Shue. Now, through the morning, we'll have an opportunity to continue to be loud and energetic, and I encourage you to do so, please. So when we say Ted Shue, we'll follow by saying, we want you. Ted Shue. Ted Shue. Ted Shue. That is absolutely amazing. It's going to be a wonderful morning. Everyone, once again, welcome. We thank all of you for joining us this morning. My name is Zerman Khan. Many of you may know me. I'm the resident MC for the Intercultural Arts Festival that happens every year. It's been ongoing for 12 years. To those of you who don't, again, my name is Zerman. A little anecdotal story for myself with Ted. Years and years ago, when he first ran for the federal nomination bid, I was blessed with the opportunity to meet with Catherine Milks, who's seated right here, who introduced me to Ted. And, he came to my house, which was fantastic. Doesn't happen all that often. We chatted, and it was clear from day one that the gentleman sitting in front of me was a true unifier, a collaborator, intelligent. I don't think I need to reiterate that all that much to you, but a true leader in the making. And we've been able to witness that right here in Kingston, and it's now time for the province to see it through and through, ladies and gentlemen. Big round of applause for Ted Shue. So I am honored and humbled that I was asked to host you guys through the special announcement event this morning. And without any further ado, we'll go ahead and get moving with the formal program. So in order to do so, I will go ahead and invite one of the three most important ladies in Ted's life. Can I please invite up Ella, Vera Claire, and Tara, who will take us through the land acknowledgement. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everyone. We'd like to just start off by acknowledging that we're fortunate enough to be able to host this event on traditional lands of the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee. And we're so grateful that we can host this event, but also just live, work, and play on these territories where Kingston is.
Thank you very much. For the three most important ladies in Ted's life, another big round of applause. Thank you. So again, I welcome you all to the Portsmouth Olympic Harbour. The harbour is about 200 years old, but almost 50 years ago, this harbour was rebuilt in the form you see today to host the sailing competition of the 1976 Olympic Games. And since 1969, this site has been host to the annual Canadian Olympic Training Regatta in Kingston or Cork. I'm starting with a little bit of history because we are here at an event which history tells us does not happen very often. Political party leadership races are relatively rare, and rarer still is when someone from Kingston is looking to join. In 1976, Flora MacDonald, for those of you who remember our great leader in Flora MacDonald, big round of applause for Flora MacDonald, ladies and gentlemen. Member of Parliament for Kingston and the Islands, she sought the leadership of the Progressive Conservative Party of Canada, one of the first women to run a serious campaign for the leadership of a major party in Canada. And as I just asked, is there anybody here who worked on Flora MacDonald's leadership campaign? Anybody that was here at that time? Well, a big round of applause for those that were, and for Flora MacDonald once again. Thank you. Along with Flora MacDonald, Kingston has a fantastic history of tremendous leadership over the years. And we're fortunate to have some of those great leaders here with us this morning. And I'm looking out into the crowd, And I do see our current federal member of parliament, Mark Gerritsen. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Not sure if our worship Brian Patterson is here. Is Mayor Patterson here? Okay. And my first boss, Right Honorable Peter Milliken. I did see Peter. Also former MPP Sophie Kiwala. And true strength of Ted to be able to bring people from all stripes and colors. I don't see Ian here, but former MPP Ian Arthur. I also see former NDP federal candidate Vic Sahai. So big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for all those people. And of course, our former member of provincial parliament, Mr. John Gerritsen. John Gerritsen was the MPP for Kingston and the Islands, sought the leadership of the Ontario Liberal Party. John impressively won every election he ran in 5 different decades. I don't know if I should have said that, John, but wait. Is there anybody here, and I know this to be true, who worked on John Gerritsen's leadership campaign? There's a few. I still see them. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for all of you that worked with John. And again, a huge thank you to all the wonderful leadership we've had here in Kingston, and as well to you, John, for holding that flag strong for Kingston and the Islands for so many years. You know, all these names are never to be forgotten. And for our provincial legislature, John Gerritsen, you're enshrined forever. Thank you very much. And now, before we get moving into the next segment, which will bring to you Ted Hsu shortly enough, I want to hear that energy once again, ladies and gentlemen. Ted Hsu! Ted Hsu! Ted Hsu! Wonderful, wonderful. Now, everyone, I'd like to introduce a very special guest. And it's my pleasure to welcome a member of the Order of Canada, an inductee to the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, a legendary songwriter and guitarist of the Tragically Hip, and son of Kingston. Put your hands together for Mr. Rob Baker. Ted Hsu, we want you. Ted Hsu, we want you. Ted Hsu, we want you. Thank you, Rob.
I think I'm good. You can hear me okay? Okay. I'll keep it brief. I wanted to say it's very easy to be cynical about politics and politicians. We've all seen too much and too many would-be leaders who they just want the fray. They love the fight. They love the win at all costs. And if their memes get them elected, then they immediately turn to the next election and staying in power. And that has nothing to do with good governance, and it has nothing to do with serving the people. But I'm not cynical about politics. I think some of you aren't either. I'm not cynical because I know Ted Hsu, and Ted Hsu is not that kind of politician. Ted's a deeply ethical, highly principled man with an absolutely ferocious intelligence, driven by deep commitment to a cleaner, more equitable society for all Ontarians. And he's also the rare sort of politician who can rise above the fray. He's in it in spite of the fray. He's there to make positive change and to raise the level of discourse and respect, both within and for our political system. Ted's the embodiment of the qualities that we should want in a leader, intelligence, accomplishment, experience, thoughtful, respectful, a great listener, humble, and above all, compassionate. In my head and in my heart, I know it's time for a fresh start, and that Ontario would and will be a better place, governed by an Ontario Liberal Party led by Ted Hsu. It is my privilege and honor to introduce the next leader of the Ontario Liberal Party, Ted Hsu.
All right. Great. Thank you very much. Let's make sure everybody can hear me. I think so. Thank you, Rob. I want to thank you, Rob, for your support over many, many years. Leslie as well. You and Leslie have been great supporters for so many years. Thank you for taking the time to be here today. And I want to thank all of you for being here. I know some of you have come from church. Some of you are here with your families. Many people have come from out of town. Thank you all for being here today, taking time out of a beautiful day to lend your support. Et j'aimerais remercier toute mon équipe. Levez les mains, mon équipe. Raise your hands if you're part of the campaign team. Thank you very much. And I want to thank my family, because without my family, I wouldn't be here where I am today. And I want to say especially my wife, Tara. It's her love and her hard work. If I could borrow an expression, Tara is how I got to Memphis. It's, well, I've been traveling around the province. This is my second tour. I'm on my second tour around the province. And there's this old political cliche that seems very appropriate in this situation. It's good to be back in Kingston. Kingston is, I've been in Kingston since I was a little baby. I grew up in Kingston. Kingston has formed who I am and how I do politics. Kingston is, I want to thank Kingston for putting your trust in me. In 2011, when I was running against what became the Stephen Harper majority and the Orange Wave, so many people put their trust in me and backed me, and we prevailed. And last year, we were up against a veteran NDP candidate, the Doug Ford majority, and we prevailed. Kingston's a special place. And I want to start with a little story about campaigning in Kingston. I got nominated for last year's election a year and a half before election day. So I had a long lead time, and I decided I would take the time and go out and talk to people I hadn't talked to before. I went to all of the rural roads in Kingston and the islands. And I went to the house of one person who was so happy that a politician came to visit and to hear what he had to say, that he gave me a bottle of his homemade maple syrup. And he said, I'm going to give a bottle of maple syrup to any politician who comes to my house. So he took a picture of me in front of my car, and we agreed that I could put it on social media along with the promise of a bottle of maple syrup, but not tell anybody the address. And the reason why I tell this story is it's important to get those politicians out there to try to talk to people they haven't talked to before. I want to go out and listen to all the people in Ontario that haven't heard from a politician or haven't been talked to in a while. I've been traveling across Ontario. I've been with people from 70 different ridings, over 100 events. And I've been traveling around. And what I hear is that the Liberal Party needs to change. The Ontario Liberal Party needs to change. We've had a couple of really bad defeats, and people know that we have to change. Now, some people are saying the party needs to go right or go left or stay in the center. I don't think that's the question that I don't ask myself. I think the right question to ask is, whom are we not serving? Whom are we not serving? Whom are we not connected to? And I think the Ontario Liberal Party has lost its connection to rural, small town, and northern Ontario. You know, we are facing climate change, renewable energy, most of which comes from the rural parts of Ontario. It's going to become more important. Energy storage, mining of critical materials to electrify our economy so we can stop burning fossil fuels. That's going to come from the north. So the north and rural parts of Ontario are gaining in importance. Now, one thing that I'm worried about is the polarization in politics. And we see a polarization between urban and rural. And I think it's the role of the Liberal Party to find common ground. I think the Liberal Party is at its best, finding common ground between different communities. And so we've got to find common ground between rural and urban and suburban and northern Ontario. That's why I'm traveling. As I've been traveling around, I find that we're sharing the same struggles. We're struggling with multiple crises, housing, healthcare, and others. And they're happening at the same time. And I think that Ontario needs hope. We need hope. But I think there's a right way to offer hope, because to many people, politics is a license to hate. But I know that in Kingston, we can win election campaigns based on trust. You know, we're neighbors. In the end, political adversaries, we're neighbors, we shop at the same places, we go to the same community events, we have friends in common. And so I'll be upfront. If you came here to hear jokes and cheap shots at Doug Ford, I'm not your man. People want hope. People want hope. People want hope. People want politicians they can trust. They want someone who can win tough elections based on trust and not on hate. And I hope you see that in me. I'd like to touch a little bit on healthcare. How many people here either don't have a family doctor or know somebody who doesn't have a family doctor? Put up your hand. Oh my goodness, okay. So, not surprising, because 25,000 people in Kingston don't have a family doctor. Clinics are closing. There's only one walk-in clinic left in Kingston, and that should be, if you're from Cornwall or Mallorytown or Belleville, you know what I'm talking about. You know how it affects people. Now, imagine this situation. You and your neighbor, you both have kids. You can send your kids to school, but your neighbor cannot send kids to school because there's no room at school. Would we tolerate a situation like that? No. But that's the kind of situation we're in with access to healthcare today in Ontario, in so many communities, almost every community, in fact. So we're in a healthcare crisis. And I believe that now is the time to implement innovative and cost-saving solutions that are out there. I've seen them. In fact, I'm very excited by the pilots that I've seen in transition care, primary care, in aging well. And I'm so proud that many of them were actually developed in Kingston. What they're waiting for is a government with a vision to make the upfront investments, make it all happen. And because I see all of this innovation, and that's just in healthcare, I want to say this. I believe that there's hope for the future, and it's a future worth fighting for. Nous avons de nombreuses difficultés en commun avec d'autres collectivités, mais c'est ensemble que l'on peut les résoudre. Everywhere people see the price of housing, they're wondering, like, how can I afford to live anywhere near where I work? And there's other people who, they don't even wonder, because they know they can't afford anything, and they need direct help from the government. We need to build more housing. But Premier Ford sees this as an opening to give away land in the Greenbelt. His plan is based on more urban sprawl, and that's unsustainable. So we have to fight that plan. We have to counter with another plan. And I would counter with a plan where we build the right size of housing in the right places with the right transportation links. And yes, we would be living closer together with more and different neighbors, but we're in a housing crisis, and that is how we're going to beat the housing crisis, preserve our green spaces, and give people a chance to afford a place to call home. Je crois qu'il y a de l'espoir pour l'avenir. Et c'est un avenir pour lequel il vaut la peine de se battre. We're struggling. We're struggling with so many things: cost of living, healthcare capacity, disruption, education disruption in our schools. There's more violence in schools. We're struggling with debt, and we're struggling with climate change. So many things need to be done. So many things at the same time. And so I want to say here very clearly that I believe that a strong economy is needed to tackle the problems that we have. Now, as I've been going around Ontario, driving, sometimes I turn on the radio to listen to local radio. And I've been hearing those Alberta Calling ads. I don't know if you've heard them. Alberta is trying to recruit Ontario's workers away, but here in Ontario, with the high cost of living and the lack of matching economic opportunities, Alberta is able to recruit away thousands of people, thousands of skilled workers from Ontario to Alberta every year. And that's not good for our economy. I want to say that Doug Ford's economy is not competitive. It's not competitive on the world stage. Why? Well, workers can't find an affordable place to live near where they work. They have trouble accessing health care. Our kids are behind because of COVID. There's more violence and disruption in the classrooms. And we're falling behind on climate change because this government is allergic to sustainable energy, and we're relying more and more on burning natural gas. This makes it much harder to attract investment to Ontario. And this Conservative government is not up to leading us in solving these problems. The federal government is leading this Conservative government. It's holding the Conservative government's hand when it comes to responding to the pandemic, funding affordable childcare, finding funding for affordable housing, and recruiting overseas companies to come and invest in electric vehicle plants and battery plants. It's the federal government that's leading the way. Moi, j'ai travaillé dans le secteur privé avec des entreprises naissantes. Et il est primordial pour moi d'investir, de bâtir une économie compétitive avec une société bienveillante et juste. I believe in building an Ontario that's competitive, caring, and fair. A competitive Ontario where our workers have access to the best childcare, schooling, training, tools, technology, organization, financing, and access to markets. A competitive Ontario where a strong economy gives young and old, able and disabled the opportunity to prosper. And a competitive Ontario where a strong economy means that we all have opportunities to prosper, that we have the prosperity to support a caring and just society. As we build this competitive society, I want to guarantee 3 guides. I want to guarantee these 3 guides. Number 1, there will be no progress without reconciliation with the indigenous peoples, and we will respect the treaties. We will respect the treaties signed between First Nations and the Crown. Secondly, we will clean up as we go along to be fair to future generations. And thirdly, we will build a strong economy on the strength of our diversity. La communauté franco-ontarienne restera un atout fondamental sur les plans économiques et sociaux. On dira toujours, nous sommes, nous serons. And so I want to tell people, especially young people, je crois qu'il y a de l'espoir pour l'avenir. Et c'est un avenir qui vaut la peine de se battre. I believe that there's hope for the future, and it's a future worth fighting for. Now, will the people of Ontario trust us, the Liberal Party, to tackle their tough problems? I think that the answer to that is, how do we engage? And what I want to do is go out to all parts of the province. I want to go out and talk to people that we haven't talked to before. I want our candidates, our volunteers, the party, the leader, to go out and find all those bottles of maple syrup to talk to people we haven't talked to before. Because it's about listening to the people we want to represent, understanding the people we want to serve, learning to express, to say what's on people's minds, what they're feeling, their hopes and worries. That's how we'll earn trust. And then, and only then, will people believe that they should have a look at the policies we're offering. Then and only then will people believe that it's worth getting out and voting to make a difference. I think people are done with simple solutions, with simple black and white pictures of the world. They're waiting for and wanting a politician, a politics that they can trust. An authentic connection. That's how I believe that we will bring a fresh start to the Ontario Liberal Party. Thank you. That's an authentic connection is how we'll get more people to trust in the Liberal Party. C'est pourquoi, aujourd'hui, pour être le visage de ce nouvel élan, pour assurer que l'on mérite la confiance des électeurs, that's why today, to be the face of a fresh start, to earn the trust of voters, I'm announcing the launch of my campaign to be the next leader of the Ontario Liberal Party. Joignez-moi. Joignez-moi. Join me. I'm already connecting. I've connected with people in Cornwall, Timmins, Thunder Bay, Windsor, St. Catharines, Mississauga, Peterborough, but I can't do this alone. I need your help to find voters in all 124 ridings in Ontario. I need your help to earn votes in each of those 124 ridings. So I'd like you to start by signing up, joining up so you can vote, and then picture a map of Ontario. Picture the people you know, family, friends, people who trust you. Let's go out and find those bottles of maple syrup. Ask the people you know to sign up so that they can vote. Because if we go and find that maple syrup, we will together taste sweet success. tous ensemble, nous serons ce nouvel élan qui offrira l'espoir, ce dont on a besoin. Together, we will be that fresh start to offer Ontario the hope it needs. Merci. Thank you. Okay, let's go. Yay! All right. Okay,
Was
good.
that you who thought of that one?
I don't. Yeah.
Really?
No. Okay, go. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Good to see you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Ted and his family. On behalf of Ted's family, all of his workers, supporters, big round of applause for Ted's team, all the people that are working with him day in and day out. You also have that opportunity, as Ted said, let's get out there and find that sweet maple syrup. And in order to do so, you have the booths available along the side of the building here. Sign up, register, make yourself available to volunteer however you can. You can donate as well. Please make sure you do so. In TED, we have a unifier, a collaborator, a doer. Somebody who's going to get the job done, which we know here in Kingston. It's time for the province to know it as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to Ted. Ted Shue, we want you. Ted Shue, we want you. Ted Shue, we want you. Thank you all very much. Thank you so much. Have a great day.